Or not.
If I was asking you for the short spiel of how this turns into the fabric outfit.
Oh, okay.
How does that work?
We do this. This is why it's called draping.
Okay.
Because you literally drape with the muslin or whatever, and
it's right there.
pins and scissors. And basically, what I do is I keep pinning and cutting and putting it together until it looks somewhat like the design. I will usually only do half of it.
Okay.
Unless it's asymmetrical and I need to work out where things go and end up.
So you just make.
So I'll just do half of it, and then if I have another actress of a different size, I will give this whole thing just like this to Pat, and she will very carefully mark it, take it off, transfer all of this information to a piece of paper. Then we cut it out again out of muslin, and we do a mock-up of it so that we can actually fit it and see what happens.
And then you do it with
and then if it works, we will, hopefully it will be just a fine-tuning. Then if it works, or if we have changes that we need to do, we will mark those on the muslin, and that all gets transferred to the paper, because that will become our record of everything we've done. And if we have to make another one, like if you work at a Broadway house or something, sometimes the plays run for years and you have to be able to reproduce it. So we have a record of that. And then if anything happens or we have to make another one, we have that. Then we cut it out of its real fabric. If it's a specialty fabric or something that's going to be really weird that we have to deal with, we might try to get something that's like that fabric. Or if it's not an expensive fabric, get the fabric itself. Yeah. And make the mock-up out of that, so we know what's going to happen. If it's like a very stretchy fabric or something like that. Once we've got to that point that we cut it out of the real fabric, we put it all together again, we fit it again. And as I was writing some of the stuff for Room for Chris Baker, I was saying that sometimes that transfer is not perfect. That you don't know what's going to happen from here to the real fabric. Sometimes it works, sometimes it's tweaking, sometimes you have to start over because the fabric just doesn't do what you want it to do. Sometimes we'll do all this, and if it's a brand new play, the whole scene may get cut. Yeah. We've bought the fabric, everything. It just gets put away. Ooh. All this gets thrown out.
Now, so you get the sketch. How much freedom do you have to put the Barry into the costume?
Well, it depends on the sketch. Like, he's pretty specific. Like if you look up there and see some of those sketches that we have sort of side by side, some of them are fairly vague. Yeah. And depending on the designer, they welcome my input. Okay. And sometimes I can really fill in details and do whatever I want to if I get really excited about it. Otherwise, it may be like you see the dress up there that has the purple overdress and the blue. I mean, what else do you need? Yeah. All of your information is there. Oddly enough, the same guy who drew that picture drew the one below it. Oh, how funny. So, that show is not so full of detail, so it didn't require as much information. Yeah, interesting. Wow. So it really depends on the designer, the style of their sketch, what kind of person. Susan Hilferty is a very collaborative designer. Her sketches, like that guy in the red robe up there, that's her kind of sketching, and she is often very vague in her sketches and just does suggestions. Yeah. And absolutely lets me go crazy. So I like working with her a lot.
That's neat.
But I mean, knowing exactly where you're going and all that kind of stuff is helpful too. Like in this situation, we're not strictly reproducing a stewardess's uniform, but close. So really, more than the sketch, what was helpful is to get, research. Yeah. Sort of really what he wants it to look like. Yeah. And even a form of production.
I gotcha. Okay.
Picture. So this is kind of helpful for me to know, it's got to be kind of tight, kind of sexy, that sort of thing. Yeah. And so when we get into our fitting, things may get tighter or whatever. Yeah. but that's kind of the way it works. And usually, after you've had your fabric fitting, you'll sometimes have another fitting, so that just to check all that. But sometimes we don't get that. We have to just hit the stage and see what it looks like there.
They would come up with more stuff.